you guys, it's your girl You Are Worthy coming to you for live in full effect from you nowhere. Dun da da da, my car. It's my favorite place to talk to you guys. So today, happy Sunday. We're going to talk about a chapter in my book called What Worth. What Worth talks about how I saw my mom deal with domestic violence growing up, and how she never stood up for herself in the sight of those battles. It was a very hard time for my sisters and I to see my mother go through those things. My dad was mentally, physically, verbally abusive to her, and that's what we grew up seeing. And a lot of times people don't realize, us as parents, we don't realize how our children are being affected by looking at these things, from seeing how a man is treating a woman, whether it's a boy seeing how his father is treating his mother, or whether it's a girl seeing how her father is treating her mother. Or vice versa, if the abuse is coming from the male or coming from the woman, because I do know that that it's not gender bias. I know that men are abused just as much. Well, I'm not going to say just as much because I don't have the figures in front of me, but men are victims of domestic violence as well. So, in the chapter of my book, I talked about a couple of incidences that I witnessed. One in particular, my mom and dad had got into a really, really huge fight. And my sister and we were downstairs and we wanted to call the police, and we just didn't, because we were, we had called before, and when we would call in before, my mom would always tell us, we would be scolded for doing it. We would be told to stay in the child's place, and it was handled and things of that nature. But this particular time, it was just really bad. I mean, we were really scared. And my dad came downstairs after the altercation, and he came downstairs after the altercation, and he went to go leave out for work. Now, when he went to leave out for work, my sister, she just was so fed up, she couldn't handle it anymore. So she took this big glass vase that we had from a great aunt that passed down to us. She picked it up and she threw it out the door at him. And I remember thinking to myself, oh God, this is gonna be bad, and it ended up being bad. My mom suffered. He came back in the home, and he had abused her pretty hard. And she ended up having a broken arm and some broken ribs, or whatever the case may be. And that stuck with me my whole life, because even with her getting those bruises and being damaged that way, she was upset that we had called the police. We had called the police in this moment. She just didn't feel like it was her fault. And I guess the reason I wanted to come on today in the topic of today's video blog is what worth, is because what do you remember growing up or dealing with that shattered your worth, or that stunted your worth, you developing a sense of self-worth, self-esteem in your life? This is something that we carry over into our adulthood, and it can always have us feeling less than. It can have us, it can cause so many different issues, intimacy, fears of inadequacy, like I said, self-esteem issues, causing us to be feeling like we're inferior. And this is something that is near and dear to my heart, especially with everything, all the bullying that's going on nowadays, and and just how we are so disconnected with real life. Everyone's chasing after the Instagram fame or the YouTube fame. Hey, I'm on YouTube. Everyone's chasing after what they may think is real but really is not. But are we really making sure that we are able to stand for ourselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you making sure that you're setting an example for your children so that they have a strong sense of self-worth? Are you telling them that they are enough? Are you showing them that they are beautiful inside and out? Are you putting them in a situation where they are witnessing interactions between you and your spouse that would cause them to believe that they are meant to be treated that way, in any way that's unfitting to be treated? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we allowing our spouses to talk to us any kind of way? Are we allowing our spouses to abuse us, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? We need to be able to have that sense of self-worth and self-pride so that we can pass that on as generational wealth to our children. Our children need to have a strong sense of pride in themselves so that they're able to stand up for what they believe in and what they know is right and what they deserve. So, what worth is basically a wake-up call to myself and to any parents that may be in that type of situation where you know that it's not a healthy one. I'm not sure if it's because of the physical abuse. I'm not sure if it's because of the mental abuse, but you know it's not a healthy environment for your children to come up in. And what are you going to do about it? Because you may think that it's not affecting your children, but it is. Our children see way more than what we think they do. I remember going through my divorce and my son, my son had really started inquiring about different things about the divorce, because as much as I tried to shelter him from the knowledge of what was happening around him, there would be times that he would sneak and listen to conversations, or he would pick up on something, because I'm only human. Maybe a conversation was had that shouldn't have been had around him, and it struck up curiosity in him, and so that he would ask questions, or he would do things or say things, and it would make me think like, wow, how does he know that? What what did he hear? What did he see to know that that's what's happening? So, and it wasn't from me having an adult conversation with him. It was from him being observant about what was going on around him, his surroundings. So, I hope this helps somebody. I want you guys to connect with your children, connect with your children, your family in this area, because it could really affect them in more ways than you would care to know. I want you to also know that you are more than enough. You don't deserve to be treated badly. You deserve to be treated with respect. You deserve to be treated in a manner and befitting a queen or a king. You deserve to have someone to love, respect you, cherish you, and honor you when you're in a relationship or friendship, any situationship, whatever you want to call it. No one deserves to be treated, mistreated, and treated unfairly. And I hope and I pray that this gets to you. I'm still working on my content. I tell you this, guys, every week I'm gonna get better and better. I'm trying to incorporate some questions because I really want to hear back from you. I know my audience is not there, but I'm praying that it does get there so that I can have an interactive conversation with you all, because I'd love to give you some feedback on things that have happened in my life, right, or things that have happened in your life, and we can share and understand each other. And I do not claim to be an expert. I claim to be a person who was bruised but not broken. Um, and I believe that all of us have bruises that and scars that may not be visible to the surface, but we've been through some things that we are able to help other people with. We're able to mentor people because of the things that we've gone through, the things that we've seen, the things that we know of, and the knowledge that we can gain. So remember, you may be bruised but never broken. It's your girl. You are worthy.